arriving at the San Rafael Swell in Utah. I drove straight here from Glacier. I was gonna hang out in Idaho in the Lost River Range. However, when I started driving down there, there was so much forest fire smoke. So I decided against going there because there's just way too much forest fire smoke. And I just wouldn't have been able to see the mountains, and my health would have been at risk because of the smoke, breathing that all in. So I've always really loved Utah, and I wasn't planning on coming here for another month, but took a look at the temperatures, and they're like right on the edge of decent for me to camp, you know, high 80s during the day. And I was like, all right, like, you know, Idaho's not going to work out, so I'm going to come down here. I've really wanted to spend a lot more time down here in Utah, so really stoked on it. So my first stop is the Buckhorn Petroglyphs site. A lot of these paintings on the walls were created by artists 2,000 years ago, and a different culture 1,000 years ago. So they noted that these paintings were out in the open and not in a cave, so they're meant to be seen, but it's hard to interpret what they actually mean. Man, this camp spot is really sick. It's right on the edge of the Little Grand Canyon. That's what they call this place. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. My buddy Brad lives in Utah, recommended this spot along this canyon, and doesn't disappoint other than the heat. Man, I miscalculated. When I was up in Idaho yesterday, I looked at the area down here, and Onyx, my map for off-roading, it gives me the weather report, and it said it was going to be, you know, 83 as the high. That thing lied. It is like 88 right now. I'm like sweating just from setting up the awning and this wall. Thankfully I have the wall and it's blocking some of the sun, but it's still really hot outside. So I'm gonna just be sweating it up out here for the next week, and I guess the next couple weeks, because I just want to be in Utah, but it's gonna be worth it for sure. Man, this is what I'm here for. I'm just able to hang out in short sleeves when the sun's down. It feels like perfect right now. It feels amazing. I just made some salmon and asparagus for dinner. I'm gonna be eating, just kind of enjoying the rest of the sunset. The sunset was just epic. I'm gonna have this for the next week at least. So now everything's kind of like this twilight and just beautiful. So this is what it's about. I love this. Yep, this is prime Utah. Of course, the first night I'm here, it's super windy. So I'm sure it's just gonna be windy the rest of the nights as well, which is fine. I put up my awning and just gonna sleep through the noisy night. Man, this morning is being amazing so far. Just drinking some coffee, hanging out. The temperatures are amazing. The seclusion is kind of what I seek. I haven't really seen another human since I got set up at camp. It's really quiet out here, which is amazing. And I'm kind of just trying to practice being present and just noticing things. And it's really easy to do that here because there's a lot of beautiful things in this canyon. I'm just like noticing these scratches on the walls across the way. I'm using my binoculars to look at them a little bit closer, and it's really interesting to see the different formations that were carved from this green river at the bottom. So it's a really nice time just relaxing here. And so I've been using at least one awning wall to create shade in the midday. And the floor here is just ultra rough and rocky. So there's not a lot of dirt to stake down the awning walls. So overnight it gets really windy. I put away the awning, and so thus I have to put away the awning wall. And instead of putting it inside the car, I just weighed it down with a rock in order to keep the staked points where I had them and keep the actual wall on the ground. And it seemed to work out really great last night. It was very windy and this thing stayed put, so I'm pretty pleased with this idea I had. I'm setting out on a short hike along the canyon rim that I kind of drove up past. Just stretching my legs, getting out and about. I waited till about 6:30 to go hiking because the temps cooled down, the sun's lower. So in theory, the UV rays are a little bit lower now as well. So hopefully I won't get burnt. There's so many fire rings along this little trail, and there's no one here. This is like such an unpopular place to be, but it's so beautiful at the same time. I've walked a little ways. I'm on this new jut out along the canyon, and I can see my campsite from across the way. So it's kind of neat. It's definitely a lot hotter than I anticipated. I thought I was beating the heat, but definitely am not. I just came across this little US Geological Survey marker here, and these are put in the ground as they're mapping out the West. This is an official marker for official location, and the title of different private properties are based on the distance from the edge of the property to this pin. So it's like a very interesting and historic marker. It's raining out here in the desert. I can see some storms kind of rolling through just past me, like a little bit heavier rain. And it was just super gusty, so I put away my awning, put down the wall. It was like extreme gusts of wind, so I'm really glad I put it out before it got too crazy. So yeah, now it's raining, so I'm just gonna sit inside my passenger seat for a second, let this rain roll through, and then I'm sure it's gonna get really hot out again. That was a doozy. So now the storm's passed by. The wind was really high, it just drizzled a little bit. You can still see that there's some storms all the way in the distance there. And there's some still in this direction that might be coming towards me, but they look a little less gray. So feeling pretty good about it. I'm gonna put the awning back up once the sun pops back up. So no need to take it out right now. Today is a much clearer and a relaxing day compared to yesterday with all the storms and the clouds coming through. So hopefully this keeps up. Yeah, it's been really nice just relaxing here and enjoying the little Grand Canyon. I have to stay put here for basically a week because I'm on call at work and I have to be available in case there's any sort of incidents. So yeah, I figured, hey, I'm gonna try to find the prettiest place I can and just post up for a week straight because I'm not really supposed to be moving or be out of service. So also, thankfully, don't know how, but there's cell phone service out here. So I don't have to run Starlink 24/7, thankfully, to be available. So it's been saving my battery quite a lot being able to turn off Starlink after I'm like done working for the day and still be accessible, which is amazing. So yeah, just staying put for a while. I can't wait till I'm off call, because then I'm going to get to drive around and explore some more and camp in new areas as well. So I'm sitting here doing a little bit of research, enjoying the just amazing view of the canyon. I'm watching this guy, I think his channel's name's Revere Overland, and this is actually one of the first YouTube videos I watched that really inspired me to come to Utah. And yeah, it's kind of cool to like be rewatching this, because I watched this thing like 2 years ago in this journey that he took. And actually, one of the camping spots was not right here, but along this canyon as well for this video that he's in. So I'm taking a look at that, getting a little bit of inspiration on where to go next, and just kind of enjoying myself in the nice weather and the shade and this beautiful view. There's two different phases of bugs out here during the day. There's the morning phase, where you have just a bunch of mosquitoes because it's a little bit cooler out, and they come out and they bite me. And then you have the midday phase, where it's a little too warm for mosquitoes to be out apparently, and there's just flies that fly around. So right now we're in the mosquito phase. The mosquitoes also come out in the afternoon when it cools down too, so gotta watch your ankles. So thankfully I have my bug swatter. There's like a ton of mosquitoes out and about right now. I've just been zapping them up. So yesterday and today I've been just feeling really good, really happy with the spot that I'm at. It's just super secluded. Haven't seen a person in like 2 days. And it's just amazing. It's just right on the prow of this jut out to look at the canyon on all these different sides. There's so many interesting rock formations. Yesterday wasn't that windy. I left my awning up overnight. So yeah, it's been a lot better than 2 days ago when it was super windy. So the temps have been amazing, and I'm just a happy guy right now. I'm just feeling good about this out here. It's one of the last nights I'm gonna be out here on the edge of the Little Grand Canyon. Just perfect night, low wind, feels amazing out here. The Milky Way is just out, just a full band across the sky, just so beautiful. I got my little projector set up. I was watching Dune Part 2, so that's a good time. And yeah, just an amazing time out here at nighttime in the desert.